What's up, everybody? Krakenall here, and today's the day. Finally, the Doom Prevails precon has been previewed by Krim. I'll put his stuff down below. I'm sure you probably already watched it, but here we go. We're going to cover it quickly. Rebranding under the Krakenall. You guys have been great. We started off at 592. We're up to like 610 as of recording this. And that last video we did on the Fantastic Four is my #1 video so far on this channel. So I thank all of you guys for watching, commenting, liking, all that jazz. Let's get into this. Okay, so we got Extract Power, 5 and a blue, sorcery. Look at the top card of each player's library, then exile those cards face down. You may play them without paying their mana cost for as long as they remain exiled. Expensive sorcery, you are in commanders. 6 mana is not terrible. I'm sure you're going to want to ramp into that. I do love the flavor art now, which is I who possess the power cosmic. But great art. It could potentially be game winning, but it is only the top card. I wish it was like a selective amount of them and then you get to choose one. You are going to see some of Krim's hands in here, etc. We were taking snips as they were going so we could get this video out for you guys, because it might be a few hours until they update the Gatherer. We got Helmet Zemo, Mastermind, 2 in a blue. Don't have his power and toughness there. Human Noble Villain. Whenever Helmet Zemo attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery with mana value less than or equal to his power from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. If you cast a spell this way, put a 1/1 counter on Zemo. For your graveyard. So you're just getting to rebuy your spells. When you do, you get to grow him. I think that is fine. You're just going to continue to keep growing him. I really wish I had his power and toughness. I'll probably edit it into the video here so you guys can see it. Good. He's a villain. He's going to connive with Doom. He's going to grow, so you're going to get to cast some of your stuff over and over again. 3 in a blue, King Dynasty. As the saga enters, for the first one, or for the first 2, for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls. Goad those creatures until your next turn. Whenever any of those creatures deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. 3, target creature you control gets 1/1 until the end of turn for each card in your hand and can't be blocked. I am not a giant Goad fan, so this card does not do it for me. You are getting to draw off of their creatures tacking in, and you can make some of their creatures do some very unfavorable blocking, but cool art. I'm whelmed on the first 3 cards. Glorious Purpose, 1 in a blue, enchantment plan. Whenever a creature you control connives, put a 1/1 counter on that creature and a plan counter on this enchantment. Okay, already fits in greatly with the villain's conniving. When a 6 plan counter is put on this enchantment, sack it. If you do, exile top 4 cards of your library. You may cast any number of spells from among them without paying their mana cost. I don't know what it is about this Marvel set and them like giving you free spells. We saw it a lot in Fantastic. We saw it in the Heroes. We're seeing it in the main set. We see it here. Like, they just are obsessed with giving us free spells, and okay, that's cool. I think you're going to be able to pop this rather quickly, and maybe in this top 4, and you can cast any number of them. So this is way better than this like Extract Power card. Age of Ultron, 4 in a black, another saga. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target non-artifact creature that player controls. A little expensive for 5. For each opponent, create a 2/2 villainous artifact robot. So you're probably creating 3. Artifact creatures you control gain death touch until the end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter on each of them. A little expensive for 5. Damocles base, Sword of King. 4 in a black, 5/5, legendary artifact vehicle, flying death touch. Whenever Damocles base deals combat damage to a player, that player faces a villainous choice. They sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice, or they lose 2 life, and you draw 2 cards. Still, 5 mana for a 5/5 flying death touch, and they're probably letting you draw 2 cards a turn. Very cool art because it's King's ship, but a lot of these feel a little overcosted to me. How you guys feeling about that so far? Let me know down in the comments below. We got the Frightful 4, 3 and a black, Menace, legendary creature villain 4/4. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, that player loses life equal to that spell's mana value. I do think that that one is reasonably costed, and it has a very powerful text box, which will allow you to kind of burn your opponent out for playing their spells, which I think is pretty cool. And it's very villainous, if you will. This card was gnarly and probably the best card in the set. Ironmonger, Sadistic Tycoon, 2 and a black, legendary artifact creature, human villain, 2/2. Flying, whenever a creature you control connives, put a 1/1 counter on each villain you control. That's the whole. I mean, that's not the whole point of the deck. You can build Doom in a few different ways, but that's the sub theme of the deck is going to be villains, conniving, 1/1s, and then discarding is kind of a sub theme, at least the way I would build him. I would have a nice villain package. Crazy card. 2 and a black, Claw, Master of Sound, 3/3, Death Touch. Whenever you play a card from exile, Claw gains indestructible. And then when Claw deals combat damage to a player, look at the top card of that player's library, exile it face down. You may play it for as long as it remains exiled. So it's like a Gonti, but like a cheaper Gonti, and it has Death Touch, and he gets indestructible if you play a card. I think it's pretty cool. I think this is also main set, or was it a different one? Endless Ranks of Hydra, 3 and a black, sorcery. For each opponent, create a 2/1 villainous creature. So how much? 1 mana cheaper than Age of Ultron there. Whenever your commander enters or attacks, you may pay 1 in the black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. I do like recursion cards like that, so you can rebuy this multiple times. Just keep, maybe after like board wipes, you play your commander, you get this back, you play it, now you get like 3/2/1s. Okay. Lady Loki, Agent of Chaos. I've gone over this card before. I'm just putting it up. This card is crazy. It's like the first card you cast each turn, like doesn't resolve, and then I don't know. It's weird. I would probably build around that completely, then have it in the deck. I kind of would like to cut that card. It's mind-boggling for me. Loki Scepter, 2 in a red. Legendary artifact. Whenever Loki Scepter enters, you gain control of target creature. It's very Loki. End of turn, untap that creature until end of turn. It becomes a villain, and it is like a mana rock, but it's only when it enters. So it's like a kidnap when it enters, and it's a mana rock. Seems a little slow. If it costs 2, I think it would be better. And then you got but then it's competing with like Soulstone, Mindstone, whichever other stones come out because they're all 2 mana rocks and whatnot. Killmonger, Ruthless Usurper, 2 and a red, 3/3 legendary creature, human villain, trample. Whenever Killmonger attacks, he gets 1/0 for each artifact defending player controls. Whenever Killmonger does combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices an artifact of their choice and you create a token. Okay, it's good against other people playing artifacts. I do think that the text box, whenever he deals combat damage to a player, they sack an artifact and you create a token, is pretty strong. A lot of these 3 mana ones, like Claw, Ironmonger, Killmonger, I like the 3 mana cards so far. So the Scepter is okay as well. Living Laser, 4 and a red, 4/4 legendary creature, elemental villain, haste. Whenever Living Laser attacks for each card you've discarded this turn, create a token copy of Living Laser, except the token isn't legendary. The tokens enter tapped and attacking, exile the tokens at the beginning of the next instant. So if you wheel yourself for 7, you get 7 copies of this, and then you just skaboink in, and then maybe if you have a way to sack something and deal damage equal to its power, or something around that. Puppet Master String Puller, 2 in a red, let's see if it's good. 2/4, whenever you attack go target creature and opponent controls, it can't block this turn. Whenever one or more goaded creatures deal combat damage to one of your opponents, create a treasure. Goad. Put hashtag goad in the comments if you're a goad lover. Stiltman, Towering Terror. What a 2 in a red, 4/2 reach. Whenever one or more villains you control deal combat damage to a player, gain control of target non-creature, non-land permanent that player controls until end of turn. End of your next turn, it gains this permanent can't be sacrificed until the end of your next turn. So you can steal something from them and then potentially sack it, but you have to wait. That's a weird one. It's funny, it's Stiltman having reach. I would expect nothing less. Titania, Proud Pummeler, 3 in a red, 3/3. First strike, melee. Other creatures you control have melee. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets 1/1 until the end of turn for each opponent you attacked. That's like a conspiracy or battle bond thing, right? Yeah. I mean, I kind of wish it cost 3. But not all your cards can cost 3. Melee's probably cool because you can kind of spread out your villain damage and conniving and kind of very more combat focused than I thought. Maybe I got spoiled after the Fantastic Four yesterday. Abomination, World Ravager, 7 and a red. Menace Trample, 4 and a red for Mayhem, which you'll most likely be doing in this deck, and for a 10/10. So 5 mana for a Menace Trample 10/10 is not terrible at all. Would this be a card that you would cut? Maybe. But if you're running a lot of the Mayhem cards, like you're running Green Goblin, Ultimate Green Goblin, and you're getting to discard each upkeep, and then you're just putting this out for 5. Anger in your graveyard. Maybe this has haste. Not terrible. King Prime, 3 blue and a black, 3/5, legendary creature, human villain. Flying, whenever King Prime enters or attacks, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. Put 2 time counters on that card. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. I think that was the other. There's not another Grixis card in here. There's Loki and Doom, but I don't remember another Grixis like face commander to kind of like the Fantastic Four had a couple of them you could choose. Cool. Not you probably build a complete deck around that more than you would like a suspend style deck where you can like help them come out quicker, etc. Arch Nemesis, this was cool. 1 blue and a black. Enchantment Aura, whenever whenever you attack enchanted player, that player loses 2 life, you draw a card. Draw a card and gain 2 life. Whenever a player attacks you, you may attach this aura to that player. I think that's pretty sweet. Because you can put it on one player, and if that player becomes like domicile and not attacking you anymore, then you can, and this person you can just switch it over to them. Great art too. And then Ultron Unlimited, 1 blue and a black, legendary artifact creature robot villain, 2/2 flying. Whenever he attacks, connive, which is awesome. And then you can play like the leader and just multiple connivings going on. And whenever a creature you control connives, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 2/2 colorless robot villain artifact. This card is sick. Definitely staying in the deck. Then you got like your Ironmonger back here. We're getting +1/+1 counter on all your villains. Just sick. Red Ghost, Intangible Genius, 2 blue and a black, 2/3. Ward 2. Red Ghost cannot be blocked. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, which you will be doing with Connive, create a 3/3 red ape villain creature token with haste. Can't wait to see that token. 5 blue and a red for the Squadron Sinister. 5/5 flying haste. Other villains you control get 2/2 have flying and haste. You can mayhem it out for 5. It is a lord. Most of your villains are 2/1s if they're the tokens, so this is making them 4/3s with flying and haste, and you're most likely mayheming this. Not bad. Typhoid Mary, Fractured, 1 and a black red for a 3/3 legendary creature mutant villain. Whenever Typhoid Mary attacks, choose 1 at random. If you discarded a card this turn, you choose 1 instead. Gotcha. That's only when she attacks. Okay, Mary, create a treasure. Typhoid Mary, draw a card. Bloody Mary, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I like table-wide things like that, like each opponent loses 2 lives. And you're most likely going to be able to choose because you're discarding and conniving and whatnot in this deck, so you can just kind of play what you need to play. And 3 mana, 3/3, that's not terrible. Try Sentinel, Active Vengeance, 7/7 Flying Menace Trample. Flying Menace Trample is good keywords. When Tri-Sentinel enters, for each opponent, Tri-Sentinel deals 3 damage up to 1 target creature and creature that player controls. Unearth for 7. So it's just like a bolt. Flying Menace Trample. I don't know if that's good enough. 7 for a 7/7. Flying Menace Trample is very strong. It could come in as like an 8/8 because or a 9/9 because of like your other, the Lord back here, with haste. Nothing to scoff at. 9 damage, 7 damage. It is a lot of damage. Doom's Time Platform, sick art 4. Artifact, whenever you attack, exile target non-land card from your graveyard with 2 time counters. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains this. Probably goes in the King Prime deck. Although, if you're conniving and you're discarding your card, and you didn't really want to, but you wanted to connive, now you have this on the battlefield, you kind of get to rebuy those by putting a suspend counter on it. It's just a non-land card, so you could put suspend counters on creatures, all that nonsense. Molecule Man, 6. I want to say it was a 5/5. Non-land cards in your hand have Miracle 0. You may cast a card for its miracle cost when you draw it if it's the first card you drew this turn. Non-land cards in your hand, so you have to get it back on top of your library and then draw it. I don't recall anything in this deck in particular putting it back on top of your library. However, like, doesn't this just go straight into Lorehold from Strixhaven, right? Like, you're already doing Miracle, but this will give Miracle 0. You have more ways to manipulate your top deck in that. Maybe build around it. Pretty cool. Some of the reprints. So we'll probably go through these slightly quick. You got Black Market Connections, 2 and a black. An enchantment. It's a reprint. It's got was that like a Mockingbird 8-ball bullseye on it, which is pretty cool. Good reprint. The 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature. The last one for Higher Mercenary is technically a villain. Lots of drawing cards and treasure tokens. They reprinted Propaganda with the Vote Loki, which is pretty cool. These are from like the main set that are also in the deck, like Moonstone, King, and Madam Hydra. Madam Hydra, I think, is pretty cool because when you cast a villain, you're pretty much getting another villain. Toxic Deluge reprint. I feel like they're reprinting this a lot in Black Commander decks, which is great. It keeps it cheap and it's got cool art. Kindred Dominance. You choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't the chosen. Pretty expensive for 7 mana, but it is what it is. Black Famous Act, great reprint with the Secret Invasion Namor. Lethal Scheme, Chaos Warp, turning into Throg, Bedevil, and Terminate. Cool art on all of those. Got MODOK, Vandal Blast, and Withering Torment. This is a sick art of Doom, dude. Hell is Real Richards, I'll show you. Night's Whisper and Siphon Mine. Each of the player discards a card, you draw a card. Now that one's probably stays in. Some cards like this, like Night's Whisper, are things like I end up cutting like first. So like when you take 10 in, put 10, take 10 out, put 10 in, kind of stuff. Prowler, Tombstone, Superior Foes, and Chameleon. I picked up all of those anyways, but I had a feeling they'd be reprint because Prowler's great. When another villain you control enters, Prowler connives. Villain spells cost 1 less. There was one of the other, Baron Strucker, I think, was also in the deck that I didn't get a screenshot of, but he's in the main set. He also makes villains cost 1 less. They have some reskins for a blue Titan of Letargia. Lady Loki's manifestation. As this creature enters, choose a creature type. This creature is chosen type in addition to its other types. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may draw a card for each other creature you control that shares a creature type. If you do, discard a card. Lots of draw. This one was a cool reprint, not a very expensive card, but Containment Construct's great in like a discard deck because you discard a card, then you get to also play it, and it's awesome Android, which is hilarious. Loki's double as Spark Double. Have it come in and be a creature or a planeswalker, except for it's not legendary and it gets a 1/1. And then you got your Arcane Signet, your Talisman of Dominance, Indulgence, and Soul Ring. Yeah, that's a cool Soul Ring. I like the Fantastic Four one better. The Hydra Ring is cool for the Signet. You got Patchwork Banner. Artifact enters, choose a creature type, and those creatures get 1/1. It's also a rock. It's got the hand there. Progenitor Icon 3. As it enters, creature type, mana of any color. The next spell of the chosen type cast can be cast as though it had a flash. And then it's like a Kang variant, Ramatet. Crazy cool art on a skull clamp with the Modok. So, gosh, I hope that you got to get that in foil, right, with the fancy version. Swift Foot Boots, Hexproof and Haste. Then we kind of just like power through the lands. These first two are tapped. They're cycling, which makes more sense in Doom because you want the lands to enter to burn out, but they also have they're fetchable with the subtypes, Island, Mountain, Swamp Mountain. I feel like this set has done a great job of like untapped lands in Commander, like the Commander precons. Crumbling, Necropolis, Command Tower, Dragonsoul Summit, Drowned Catacomb, Fetid Pools. I am glad you're getting all three cycles here with the cycle lands, though. You got Foreboding, the Snarl, the Luxury Suite. So we did get another Battle Bond land. So now we've got like the blue-green, the red, blue-green, red-white, and black-red now. Sunken Hollow, Sulphur Falls, Terramorphic, Unclaimed Territory is great for any creature heavy, like humans, villains, heroes, etc. Scavenger Grounds, Path of Ancestry, Secluded Courtyards, Smoldering, Scorched, and finally, Villainous Hideout. It's just another rainbow land for villains, but then you have the target villain connives, and you can activate it as sorcery. And then you want to get like the Doom's Castle from the main set because he can make like the villain's activation. All right, man, we powered through it. We got this one out quickly. Go watch the Krim video if you haven't. He had incredible editing in there, and it was fun to watch. This is my most anticipated set. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. You guys are doing awesome. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. How do you feel about this one compared to the other two so far? I'm a Doom fan. Don't catch me wrong. But I'm kind of thinking the Fantastic Four one was a little sweeter, a little deep cuts, a little more things to mess around with. But I am very excited to build my own Doom deck, and we'll be covering that on the channel once all the spoilers are up. All right, catch you guys on the next one.